Hello friends. After all the permutations and combinations, I have now zeroed in on 20 companies. These 20 companies have got current ratio of above 1.3 is acceptable to us. Debt equity is as much as possible from 30% to 150, 180%. Interest coverage ratio above 5 to 135. Then return on equity, which is in double digits, above 11 to 32, 52%. Then 5-year revenue growth above 20% to 300%. That means we have growth, we have return on equity, we have interest being covered many times over, we have debt equity of a reasonable or good size, and the current ratio is above 1.3 or 1.5, that is acceptable to normal banking. Okay. Now, which are these companies? They are not very big companies, they are not very capital intensive companies, but they are good companies. Let us see the name. 1. High Ground Enterprise Limited. Its current ratio is 1.55, debt equity is 37, interest coverage is 5, return on equity is 18, and 5-year revenue is 311% revenue growth. Next, Shilpi Cable Technologies. Current ratio 1.6, debt equity 67, interest coverage 6, return on equity 26, growth 61, revenue growth 61%. Ujas Energy, current ratio 1.9, debt equity 57, interest coverage 4, return on equity 11, and 5-year revenue growth 52. Then CMI Cables, current ratio 1.6, debt equity 63, interest coverage 4.8, return on equity 25, 5-year revenue 32. Bhagaria Industries, current ratio is 2.19, debt equity 17, interest coverage 24, return on equity 21, 5-year revenue 31. PC Jewelers, current ratio 1.6, debt equity 16, interest coverage 5.7, return on equity 18, and revenue growth 30. Page Industries, current ratio 2.2, debt equity 43, interest coverage 48, return on equity 52, revenue 29% growth. Arman Financial Services, current ratio 1.6, debt equity 317, interest coverage 1.97, return on equity 17.83, 5-year revenue 28.95. Vito Switchgears and Cables, current ratio 1.7, debt equity 33, interest coverage 5.7, return on equity 17, 5-year revenue 27. Then Bharatiya International, current ratio 1.5, debt equity 97, interest coverage 2.8, return on equity 12, 5-year revenue 26. Aurobindo Pharma, current ratio 1.3, debt equity 48, interest coverage 21, return on equity 32, 5-year revenue 25. Alfejo India, 1.38 current ratio, 20.6 debt equity, 135 interest coverage, 12.27 return on equity, 5-year revenue 24. Skipper Limited, current ratio 1.3, debt equity 103, interest coverage 3.2, return on equity 27, 5-year revenue 24. Zcom Electronic Securities, 1.39 current ratio, 182 debt equity, 2.0 interest coverage, 27 return on equity, 24 growth. And then Datamatics, 2.8 current ratio, 12.7 total debt equity, 7.7 interest coverage, 11.1 return on equity, 24 5-year revenue growth. Suprajit Engineering, 1.62, 79.62 debt equity, 10.94 interest coverage, 20.9 return on equity, 22.4 revenue growth. Talwalkar Better Value Fitness, 2.13 current ratio, 69.4 debt equity, 10.94 interest coverage, 20.9 return on equity, 22.4 5-year revenue growth. Then Indian Terrain Fashion, 2.55 current ratio, 27.27 debt equity, 7.71 interest coverage, 22.98 return on equity, 21.83 5-year revenue. C. Mahindra Exports, 1.41 current ratio, 159.42 debt equity, 2.34 interest coverage, 10.99 return on equity, 21.32 5-year revenue growth. Astra Microwave Products Limited, 5.09 current ratio, 27.94 debt equity, 12.46 interest coverage, return on equity 16.28, 5-year revenue growth 21.04. Jindal Polyfilms, current ratio 1.44, debt equity 95.25, interest coverage 9.79, return on equity 17.86, and 5-year revenue growth 20.41. So these are the 20 companies which, if you follow as per the traditional financial requirements, they will be able to give you good returns, good investing.